Now, for those friends who have come to our university for the first time, I would like to introduce our university, and may I request the AV presentation of the university?
मौलाना आज़ाद नेशनल उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी के इस खूबसूरत कैंपस में आपका खैर मकदम है। सरज़मीन दक्कन में वाक़ ये यूनिवर्सिटी जदीद हिंदुस्तान की तामीर में संग मील की हैसियत रखती है। जमहूरी हिंदुस्तान की दानिशगाह उर्दू मीडियम के ज़रिए रिवायती और फासलाती तर्ज़ तालीम की वजह से पूरे मुल्क में एक इंफरादी शनाख्त रखती है। ये मखसूस इदारा न सिर्फ इल्म आगही की नई नई जहतों से तशनीगाने उलूम को सैराब कर रहा है, बल्कि गंगा जमनी तहजीब की आबियारी में भी हमतन मसरूफ़ है। ये यूनिवर्सिटी 1998 में पार्लियामेंट के एक एक्ट के तहत मरकज़ी यूनिवर्सिटी की हैसियत से कायम हुई। इसके 4 वाज़े बुनियादी अग़राज़ व मक़ासिद हैं: उर्दू ज़बान की तरवीज व तरक्की, उर्दू ज़रिए तालीम से पेशवाना और तकनीकी तालीम की फराहमी, उर्दू ज़रिए तालीम से आला तालीम हासिल करने के ख्वाहिशमंद अफराद को रिवायती और फासलाती दोनों तर्ज़ तालीम के तहत यकसा मौक़े फराहम करना, और तालीम निस्वां पर खुसूसी तवज्जो। इस स्कूल का क़याम 2004 में हुआ। इसके तहत 6 शोबे बड़ी खुशअस्लूबी के साथ कारकर्द हैं: शोबे उर्दू, शोबे अंग्रेजी, शोबे हिंदी, शोबे तर्जुमा, शोबे अरबी और शोबे फारसी। इस स्कूल के तहत 8 शोबे तालीम व तदरीस में मसरूफ़ हैं। इस स्कूल के तहत चलने वाले कुछ शोबों ने नुमाया कामयाबी हासिल की है। खुसूसन शोबे समाजी काम MSW के तलबा ने मुल्क की मुख्तलिफ गैर सरकारी तंजीमों में यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम रोशन किया है। दीगर शोबों की कारकर्दगी शोबे नज़्म व नस्क़ आम्मा, शोबे सोशल वर्क या समाजी काम, शोबे इस्लामियात, शोबे सियासियात, शोबे तारीख़, शोबे समाजियात और शोबे माशियात। 2 शोबे, शोबे मैनेजमेंट और शोबे कॉमर्स बहस खूबी चल रहे हैं। शोबे इंतज़ामिया यूनिवर्सिटी के उन चंद शोबों में से एक है जिन्होंने अपनी मेहनत और लगन की वजह से अपनी एक अलग पहचान बनाई है। इस शोबे के तहत MBA, MPhil और PhD प्रोग्राम चल रहे हैं। नुमाइंदा शोबों में से एक है। कारकर्दगी के लिहाज से ये शोबा फ़ाल और मुतहर्रिक है। इस स्कूल के तहत ऐसे पेशवाराना अफराद की तैयारी पर तवज्जो मरकूज़ की जाती है जो प्रिंट और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया के मैदानों में तमाम चैलेंजेस का सामना करने के लिए तैयार हों। शोबे ने PhD प्रोग्राम भी शुरू किया है जो उर्दू मीडिया सेंटर में मुबाहिसे, टेलीफिल्म, डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज और न्यूज़। शोबे कंप्यूटर साइंस और इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी चलने वाले कोर्सेस में MCA दोहरे खरूज के मौके के साथ यानी PGDIT या 2 साल के बाद
हमने पहला कदम उठाया है। वी आर स्टिल इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ ब्रांड मेकिंग ऑफ मानू, और आपका ताउन इसी तरह रहेगा। हम हो सकता है वी विल बी एबल टू क्रिएट ए निश फॉर आवरसेल्व्स। थैंक यू वेरी मच। और मैं अब रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ हमारे स्कूल के डीन प्रोफेसर मोहम्मद अब्दुल अजीम साहब से टू डिलीवर द वेलकम एड्रेस एंड अबाउट द स्कूल। थैंक यू।
It's from corporate, my colleagues, students, friends, good evening. Assalamu alaikum, adab. Sir, before I introduce regarding my School of Commerce and Business Management, I would like to tell you that our university, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, is the only university, largest university in regular mode which has got national jurisdiction. After IGNO, that is a distance mode, and Maulana Azad National Urdu University is both distance and regular. So these are the only 2 universities in India which has got national jurisdiction. So this is one niche we have got for our Manu. So, sir, School of Commerce and Business Management established in the year 2004 And we have started with a single department, Department of Management Studies. In the first year, we had only 9 students and the intake was 30. So हम तो अकेले ही चले थे जानिब मंजिल, मगर लोग मिलते गए, कारवा बनता गया. So this is proved to be true for our department. Then we tried our level best to promote our department. There was a question mark in the minds of the students whether if we study in Urdu, can we survive in the market? So you all know pretty well, studying in mother tongue, I assure you that our students are much well versed than other students who are not studying in the mother tongue in terms of understanding the subject, knowing the concepts and theorems. Because we teach them, we explain them in mother tongue, so they are well versed in the concepts and basics. So that is the advantage of studying in the mother tongue. Then in the year 2011, we have started MCOM course. Now in the year 2015 and 16, we have started BCom. So in School of Commerce and Business Management, we have got MBA, and we have got research courses in management, MPhil and PhD. Then 2011, we have started MCOM, and 2016, we have started BCom. So initially, we had only 30 seats. Then a lot of demand was there. Then we made to 60 seats, and now we are planning to start another session of 60 for MBA. Okay. Then comes to the quality of the students, how we take admission here. We conduct all India entrance tests to maintain the quality. And admission will be purely based upon the merit in the entrance test. We don't consider anything else. So we have got 11 centers in which we conduct entrance test. Notification is out, and you can see the details on the website of Manu. Then after taking the admission, again we have got very strict rules and regulations we follow. We upload the attendance on the website or the departmental website, and automatically, based upon the attendance, examination form will be generated. No question of any changes. So almost every student will have 80 to 85% attendance in the class, so that they have to be regular to the class. Apart from that, we conduct internals, 2 internals, and if they pass in internal or if they attempt in internal, then only they have to write external examination. This is also one quality check we have put. So we are trying our level best in the classroom. The student should attend and learn the concepts, theoretical part. Comes to the strengths of our university. See, ours is all India jurisdiction, number 1. The number 2 is our students, compared to other local colleges and other colleges, our students come with an additional language, that is Urdu. If you go to any private college in Hyderabad and in any place, they will have their mother tongue and English. But here, our students are from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Okay? They know Kerala, they know Kannada, they know Tamil. Apart from that, they know English, and the additional language is Urdu they know. So we thought how the students will be studied but that has become an advantage to us. So you will get a students from additional language. Apart from that, another advantage our students has got is they know Arabic. Nowadays, most of the companies who are having transactions with the Arabian countries, Gulf countries, they are coming to our university to take the students. So apart from Urdu, they know Arabic also. So overall, they know 4 to 5 languages. That is the advantage we have got. And you have seen the infrastructure available, world class, the best infrastructure we have got. And I'll talk about my department. We have got MCOM and MBA 12 faculty. Among 12 faculty, 11 are PhDs and net qualified. Okay. So they have got, if I total all the experience, they have got more than 100 years of experience, I can see. Okay. So this is the advantage and quality of our faculty. Comes to curriculum, we always invite people from industry to come and interact with the students. And whatever we learn, whatever we interact, we try our level best to introduce those parts in the our curriculum. So I can say ours is the only department where we have got 4 computer papers in all sections. We Oracle students know DBMS, MIS, and basics, all those things. So as per the need of the industry, we usually in a 2 years or 3 years, we change the curriculum. And about our students, you know, basically Urdu is must for taking admission here, and most of the students are from economically poor background. They come from Urdu medium schools, and one thing is very clear, they come all the way from Bihar, UP, Kerala, all the way to take advantage of the facility available here. So once they came from a long way to achieve something, and we have been experienced that wherever our students get job, and they have proved to be excellent. They are the achievers. So they are in need of some job. They are in need of some job. So once they get an opportunity, they prove themselves to be the best. So this is in brief about my department. And before concluding, I can say that I request you all people to have, and from our side, to coordinate and collaborate with us so that there will be advantage to our students and vice versa. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And now I request Professor Saneem Fatima to tell about the corporate meet and opening remarks. Thank you.
Cages, Employability Research and Consultant. We have with us Mr. Sunil Kunteta, who will agree with me that last month we had a national conference on Industry Institute linkages, rekindle youth, innovation and employability. We had very good inputs from the MDs and CEOs. Now this is a second follow-up meet wherein we'll try to see how best the institute and industry can collaborate and what will be the outcome, how both the stakeholders can benefit from this collaboration. So I briefly give you the background concept note of this. Now first, about the theme of the corporate meet. Why industry and academia should collaborate in the first place. Now this has been always a topic of great interest around the world. Still tool for job creation and is a primary driver in solving daily life problems. India presently ranks at dismal 81 at the bottom of BRICS countries as per the Global Innovation Index, which noted that the major problem is with the education system. We just learn the concepts, produce in the examination, and we get the degree. But we don't think creatively or do anything towards innovation. It's high time we thought of it. As academicians, we are here, and as industry corporates, you are there. Why don't we collaborate? The purpose of higher education system is to create enlightened citizens suited to the industrial and economic needs. Hence, it has been strongly felt to enhance the industry institute linkages. Now the interface. Now what is the relationship between an industry and an academic institution? Like we produce a product, say MBAs, BTechs, any graduate who is ready to be employed in the industry. And we keep on reading in the Google survey, various surveys and newspapers that only 40% or sometimes 32% are employable. Now where is the gap? The product what we are producing, it's not ready to accept. So why don't you as industry give us inputs so that we can work collaboratively and reduce this gap. So producer-consumer relationship, I hope I'm right with this example. Now this is the inputs industry should give us for us regarding the evaluation our products. Now a productive interface between academia and industry in the present times of knowledge economy is a critical requirement for skill development and employability. Now coming to the first part of the theme, industry institute linkages, employability, I think this is a gap. The product we are producing is not 100% acceptable in the market. So we need to think about it and do something there. Now coming to the second part, that is a research. Now we as academicians do our research, get our PhD degrees and employed. And further research, the measures of success are according to the publications. Academic research is mostly based on publications. And in almost all the in the companies, we have a R&D department. You do research basically, and the measures of success are the profit and loss statement of the company and the customer satisfaction. So here again, we have a need to identify these research gaps and establish a research agenda which satisfies both the requirements of industry research and academic research. Now coming to the third part, the consultancy. I think, like just now Professor Azim told, 90% of us hold a PhD degree. We can as well do a research and consultancy in various companies. And as such, you can give us the update on innovations and development so that we can do research there. So industry can provide information on academia in terms of technological and advances and updations. Hence, it is important for both the stakeholders to strive for a mutual benefit by developing an integrated model of industry-academia linkages. Now the objectives of the meet. Basically, I said in the beginning, to follow up the last month's conference, what we had, to develop a relationship with managers of various companies, to explore the opportunities of industry-institute interface, to create more opportunities for internships and life projects. The program schedule is already given. So friends, with this brief note, I leave the forum now open for us to discuss and deliberate how is that the industry and institute have linkages for the purpose of either employability, research and consultancy. Thank you and welcome again to the deliberations. Now I request the chair, Dr. Shakil Ahmed Sahab, to declare the forum open.
Now I holding a post of national elected board member of NHR network representing South. So I have been doing these events personally also, that anyway this is not the forum to explain what I do the events. But most of the things, whatever the points I wrote it down to mention that these are the things which are not happening, but all the things which I have written that they are not happening or are happening in your place. So there is no need of mentioning those things. So we have few suggestions that anyway in due course of time I'll come across and share my thoughts. So over to you, sir.
Hi, good evening everybody. My name is Vivekanand. So right now I am actually chilling out. So I just left my job in the month of January. I was heading HR and operations for a company called Pulse Secure, which is an IT product development company based out of Bangalore. So thanks for giving this opportunity. I hope that we will have another interaction where I can share my views. Yeah, thank you.
Hello friends, I am Dr. Sharma. I am a teacher in university. I am presently heading the Department of Commerce and Business Management, Kakati University. I am here to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Good evening to all of you. My name is Muralidhar. I am a director of operations of a training organization, Center for Attitude Management, Education and Learning. We are operating from Warangal. Incidentally, I happen to be here for a 3-day workshop for trained MBA and MCOM students. What I found is there's a known fact that there's a lot of gap between industry expectation and what we actual institutions are producing, and that's well known to all. But what I have seen in the students is that absolutely everyone have got a potential. So if the industry can really give us practically what actually they are looking at if they before hiring, probably the institution certainly can add some value to the students. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Dhrubashish Bhattacharya. I represent Magma FinCorp Limited. It's a non-banking finance company. I'm the business head and vice president there. It's a very novel concept and it's the first time and a unique experience for me. And I wish to get enlightened and learn from more and more experiences of from jury and the forum. Wish you all a wonderful career ahead. I can see some alumni sitting out here doing pretty successfully, and I hope very best for the institution. Thank you.
By profession, I'm an engineer working for a General Electric company, and we are running an NGO called Career Guidance Council. And we are in this field of bridging the gap since a decade, conducting programs in Manu since last 5 years. So we'll discuss more when the time.
Good evening all. My name is Muhammad Abdul Alim, and I'm also one of the volunteers of Career Guidance Council, and I've come with Mr. Munawar. By profession, I am a language as well as a communication skills trainer, and I've worked for Genpact as well as Deloitte for 7 years overall. So if given a chance, I would like to keep forward my views when given a time. Thank you so much.
I'm Vijay Vedantam. I head an organization called Atlas Financial Research and Consulting, which is the official consultancy partner to all major banks in India, including the State Bank, Andhra Bank, you name it. We do a lot of things called techno-economic viability studies, where we understand what new projects are coming up, and we try to give our engineers, chartered accountants and analysts study the project and tell whether this project is viable or not. One of the interesting things that's happening in the world is economic disruption in technology, in the political sphere, in innovations. I spend most of my time in that aspect, and that is one segment I'd like to share my thoughts on. I'm very actively involved in the HR community. I got the award of recognition from National HR Network 2010. I'm currently the Joint Secretary at the Hyderabad Management Association, and I look forward to continued involvement with this very useful and very reputed organization, which has no historical baggage. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. This is Hari Kishan from FactSet Systems India Private Limited. I lead the campus engagement activity for FactSet, and I have 6 years of experience with FactSet. Prior to FactSet, I worked with OSI Systems as a campus recruiter, and I have an experience of hiring 1,000+ fresh graduates across India from IITs, NITs, IIITs, and other business schools. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Johnny Thomas. I'm the marketing manager of Gandoor India. We are the manufacturers of Safari chocolates and Yamama cakes. I'm looking forward to the discussion, but also I just wanted to put one recommendation to the faculty here, that we should encourage, so one, we might have regular curriculum and all, but we should also encourage out-of-the-box thinking, because nowadays what employers are looking for is students who can, or employees who can contribute to some out-of-the-box thinking, you know, something creative which will help the company make some innovative products and move forward. So that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Good evening all. Myself Praveen Kumar, HR Executive from Jaras Technologies. And earlier to Jaras Technologies, I have worked in PK Limited as a HR personnel manager. And I have an experience of recruiting nearly 500 members over in IT and non-IT sector. Apart from this, I just need a suggestion. Where we are generally lagging on the skills, only on communication skills. Where what I observed in the last 2 years, most of the candidates are unable to express whatever the abilities they have.